Alright guys, I had a request for a video on strict handstand push-ups. So I'm going to talk about the positioning that you should be in, or hand position to head position on the handstand push-up. I'll talk about the body position and actually through the movement, and then I'll talk about some progressions for the strict handstand push-up. First, some prereqs. Alright, so make sure that you have a really good, solid push-up, and then make sure that you're able to lower yourself through the push-up, through that descent with control. That's more of a safety issue as well as a strength issue as well. So the first thing is where are your hands supposed to be? What's the hand placement? What's the most efficient position for the strict handstand push-up? And the easiest way, as I tell her, to get into a kind of a mock headstand. You don't have to get an actual headstand. But you're going to take your hands right about outside the shoulders. You're going to place your head on the ground. You should be able to see your hands from this position. You should be able to load the hands pretty easily, feel pretty stable. Okay. You should have a nice 90-degree angle as well. So why that 90-degree angle is important is for transfer of energy and power, right? So if this is the floor, you're driving through your palm, okay, the power is going to go from your palm wrist, okay, through your elbow into the shoulder to the lockout, okay? You've got to have the elbow stacked onto the wrist, okay, for the strongest position possible, okay, to be in your strongest position, okay? Very similar to the push-up, right? So if we're doing push-ups, our strongest position is going to be a good 90-degree angle, driving through the palms all the way out, okay? You're not gonna go really wide, okay? It's gonna be a little bit more difficult. You're not gonna go really narrow, pushing from here and trying to push out, okay? So think about a nice good 90-degree angle on your setup. All right, the next part from your setup, when you're on the wall, is the descent, okay? This part is really important because this is about control. And so when you come down, okay, you want to think about pulling the elbows, again, into the body. This is our strongest position for pushing, okay? You're never gonna push here, elbows out, wide. Okay, it's the same position that we do all of our pushing movements. Our push-ups are here, okay? Our strict pushing, barbell movements, dumbbell movements, push press, push jerk, split jerk, all of that is elbows inside the body. Same thing with your handstand push-ups. You want the elbows inside the body, not driving outside the body, okay? The next is keeping tension, not just keeping tension in your body, in the body, but also keeping tension in the descent, in the shoulders, in the lats when you're coming down. So think about it this way. Think about it like a deadlift, right? So on a deadlift, that first pull off the ground is always the hardest. Then when you move into your tap and go, your consecutive reps, you get a little bit of that rebound because you have tension already set up in your body. You maintain that tension, and the movements after that, or the reps, after that are a lot easier, okay? So that is the goal. So with a handstand push-up, if you come down, lose tension at the bottom and rest, now you've got to drive out from pretty much a dead stop, versus if you can maintain that tension in the body and then drive straight out of it as soon as the head touches the ground. Okay, so that is probably one of the biggest faults that I see with people, is that they lose tension at the bottom and come to a dead stop from their push-ups, and then they have to just kind of come off the wall. So biggest thing there, guys, is tension, making sure that your hands are in the right place. As far as the movement overall in general, it's very much a strength movement, okay? So if you're not quite there yet, there are definitely progressions that you can do in order to get to a strict handstand push-ups that are gonna be key. So the first one, probably the easiest, I have a lot of people set up for workouts this way because it's a little bit faster, easier than jumping on a box. Easier progression for newer people to kind of get the concept and understand the strict handstand push-up. So it's just a pike push-up. Okay? So you set up in a pike position. You're going to take your head slightly forward, finding a good tripod position, and then you're going to press straight up and back. Okay? So that's one of the easiest scales that you can do for the strict handstand push-up. The next one is going to be on a box. Okay, so you can get knees on or you can go toes on. So I'll do a few at each. So knees on is gonna be the easiest. You wanna make sure that you're stacked. So you wanna make sure that your shoulders and hips are stacked right on top of each other. Again, find that good tripod position, driving the elbows towards the box, pushing up, driving the nose to the box. So that's knees on. Make it harder. You become more weight bearing. And same thing, good stacked. Press and lock it out. So two other really good for building strength, building endurance in the handstand push-up. And last but not least, body position. So for those of you that have strict handstand push-ups, but maybe tend to, once you start to hit fatigue, you start to go into the chest, and you want to press and push the chest out because you're stronger maybe in your chest than you are your shoulders. A good drill for that is going to be a wall-facing handstand push-up. So this keeps the integrity of the movement. So you're just going to kick up or do a wall walk, and then from here, so this makes it a little bit more challenging. And if you are one of those that tends to push the chest forward, it's going to push you off and back off the wall, and nobody wants that. So again, guys, strict handstand push-ups, there's a lot of progressions. It's a pretty high level gymnastics body weight movement. So practice, make sure you have the prereqs. Guys, if there's any videos that you want to see that we haven't done or maybe we have done, we need a refresher, let us know. We'd be happy to. Just email me, Jessica@carwhostrength.com.